Well, good morning, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. So we're here, of course, in the kitchen, and we are working on making some split pea soup. So last night, we took the beans here, and we soaked them, we rinsed them, and the beans are right here, and you can see in the pot, they've actually absorbed a lot of the water, so they've already started the process of getting soft. And so I like using my real big pot here. It's nice and deep. And I want to cover over the beans with the water, because what's going to happen with the split peas is the split peas are going to basically turn to mush. And that makes kind of a greeny, creamy soup. And so I'm going to go ahead and turn that on and get that nice and hot. What we're also going to do here is we're going to saute some vegetables to go in here. And remember, I told you guys I bought spiral sliced ham, and I didn't cook it with the sugar coating and stuff on there. Basically, I took the ham and I cut it up into like 5 portions. So this is about 1.25 inches thick of ham, and it's a good bit of ham. We're going to chop this up. We're going to put this in the soup. We've got some celery, some onions, an onion and a half, and some carrots to go with this. And we're going to saute those in some olive oil, and we're going to make a great soup. With this soup, we're also going to go ahead and do a really nice salad to go with it. And what we're trying to do with this diet is we're trying to do this for 30 days. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to do a process of elimination, because we're trying to find out what foods create inflammation on people and things. So I don't have the ins and outs on all of this. I am the cooking department. But we're trying to cut back on the dairy. We're trying to cut back on the sugar and things for 30 days and see how people are feeling. My daughter says she's feeling with staying away from the dairy, and my daughter Michaela has not been doing dairy in forever. We're going to put some olive oil here in the frying pan. Nice deep frying pan. Has not been doing dairy forever, and if I end up slipping some dairy into something she's eating, she will have a fit. So there is something to what we eat being part of the problem. So today will be soup and salad. So we're going to make a real nice salad. We're going to put some cranberries in there. We're going to put some chickpeas in there, some romaine lettuce, tomatoes, some chunks of avocado. And we're going to try it's a new bakery that's actually in town. That's about 1.5 miles from me. And we're going to do some sourdough bread to go with it. So that way you've got some crunch with the bread. You've got a nice salad that's got some protein and stuff for you. And you've got the bread. So this will be a really nice filling meal, and hopefully everybody will enjoy it. Yesterday, everybody absolutely positively loved the chicken, and we're going to continue to do other things with it. I think the hardest part for me is trying to come up with different things to cook that will fit the parameters of what we're trying to do here, which is eliminate the dairy. I like using sour cream a lot. I like using cheese, and I like doing like clam chowders and things, soups like that. But we'll do like a Manhattan clam chowder later on this week. And I think tomorrow I'm going to do one of those meals that's a double up. And that is, I'm going to take and buy some T-bone steaks, okay? And the reason why I'm buying T-bone steaks is not because we're going to have a big old fat juicy steak. What I'm actually doing here is I'm having a hard time finding a butcher shop that actually has that I can buy beef bones. So I'm going to make some thigh with the bones. And then I'm going to do like a beef and broccoli stir fry with the beef. So that way, and I'll keep some of the beef, of course, for the thigh. This way, I'm going to be cooking 2 meals cooking 2 meals basically at the same time. So I want to cook each day. And that's one of those things that's also key to do is how can I eat really good and not have to spend all my day doing it. Right now it's about 11 o'clock and you can see how much time I'm actually spending here. It was rinsing the beans last night and putting those in, and so far 5 minutes of me chopping vegetables. So not a whole lot of time. And doing this pot of soup is another one of those things that we can put this in the freezer, and this could be another meal for a couple of days. And with the weather being cold, this is perfect. And this is one of those soups that literally anybody can make very easily. So we're getting all these veggies softened up for our soup, and we're going to get that to a boil and turn it down. I'm going to go ahead and chop up the garlic and put that in here. Now with garlic, if you're doing a stir fry, like if you're doing like a fermented black bean and garlic, you want to take the garlic and you want to cook it in the pan with the fermented black beans ahead of time so you get a burnt char to it. When you're sauteing vegetables, you don't really want that char for regular recipes. You want to actually let the process get started and put it in there so that way it gets moist but not burnt and dried out. It's a totally different flavor. And it looks like I'm getting a phone call. Let's see, who's this? Okay, I'll go back to that. All right, gonna put this in there, and then we're almost done with this. See, this is, the onions are getting translucent. Let the carrots soften up. We'll add that to the soup, and we put the ham in. And the nice thing about a soup like this is, once I finish this, it's just a matter of then adding my seasoning. And you know I like to use the bouillon base in here. And this will just do its thing and just slow cook all day, and I'm out of here. And you see how much ham. Now, again, you could go ahead and have the whole ham, which would be great because then you'd have the ham bone, but I didn't want to do a whole ham. But that right there is a good cup and a half of ham that's in here. Oh yeah. Now you know my bouillon paste here, better than bouillon, and this is supposedly organic. They have two kinds, and my daughter put in here. Make sure you use the organic, Dad. So we'll put some of that in there, and this is one of those things that you'll do to taste. If you like a saltier taste to it, then add a little bit more of it. If you don't, use less of it. Now, so we got that going. We got our veggies here simmering. And of course, you know me, I go through the refill for the black pepper. I love my black pepper fresh. It's more coarse cut. See, the great thing about most foods is when you're cooking fresh stuff, you don't need a lot of crazy seasonings and things because it's bland. I tell people, don't use the garlic that's pre-chopped up. Yeah, it's convenient, but the thing about it is it doesn't have the same flavor. Same thing about in the springtime, you can go ahead and get herbs. Check this out. Right here, this is one of our rosemary plants that we had outside. It's basically a bush, but we brought that in here so that way we have that. Over here, we have some basil that's growing. So you can get some of these fresh herbs and have them growing and being able to use them. And the taste that you get from the fresh herbs, take a look at that. See, look. See how that is? That's real food right there, people. That's real food. And when you put this in here and let it simmer, basically you're going to get a vegetable broth in here that will be fantastic. Of course, you've got the protein with the ham, and then we'll have some bread that we can kind of dip into it. Great meal. Great meal, and this, even at a budget price, I want to say it's 2 bags of split peas, which is, I think, about $2 or so a bag. The ham, I bought the ham for about $16 or so and made it into 5 portions, so that's about another $3. A bag of carrots, a couple of onions. So this whole pot of soup that we're making right here will end up being under $15. Under $15, which is great. And then we'll go through, we'll get a bag of like a Caesar salad mix, or you can buy fresh Caesar and chop it up. We'll go through there. We buy a big bag of craisins. We'll add some of those in there. A can of chickpeas in there. So you'll get some texture as well as different flavoring. And avocado. So now I can turn this thing down on and I can go do some more content elsewhere. Of course, I need to clean up the kitchen a little bit. Love that ham. And here we go. We'll come back and check it. Boom. Okay, so the key, of course, in doing any beans, and I like to do navy bean soup, like to do pinto bean soup, or that 15 bean soup are really, really good ones, is you must soak it overnight. Or you can do the fast soak, which is you basically put the beans in there, you hook them to boil for a minute, and then you take them off and let them sit. But you're really better off just rinsing them the night before. And so I've gotten this to the point where it simmers. I've got the vegetables that are in here, and you can see that the broth in here is already beginning to look green because the beans are getting soft, and what will happen is they'll get to the point where they'll turn to mush, and it's almost like you've got a creamy soup in here. But you can see the vegetables that are in there, you can see the peas that are in there, you can see the carrots and stuff, and this is one of those things that you will flavor to taste. So let's taste the broth. And I can show you the broth right now. Great color. Look at that. Incredible color here. And so just taste the broth. Oh my goodness. Already that broth is fantastic. Yeah, about 2 spoons of the bouillon paste. Ground in a lot of pepper. I'll probably put a little bit more pepper into it. Oh, I almost forgot. A couple of bay leaves. Looks like I need to get some more. A couple of bay leaves in there as well. Now you can experiment with a soup like this. You can put some oregano. We will put in some parsley later on because we don't want the parsley to get too wilted into it. We'll add some parsley, but you can put some oregano. I'll probably put a little bit of thyme in there because thyme has, of course, got that really unique flavor that'll kind of really pump it up. And experiment a little bit with it and see what seasonings that you like. This right there, just like this, is actually going to be a great taste. But again, you might find it and tweak it. You might want to use a little bit of cayenne pepper because you want it to have a kick to it. More so, you may want a little bit more of a salty flavor in it, so add a little more salt, although we're trying to cut down on the salt and the sugar and things and the processed food to try and get healthier. But definitely check it out. Okay, so I'm coming in to check on my soup here and make sure that I don't need to add some more water, and I think I am going to. As this goes through and it really absorbs the juice and stuff on here, it may get really, really thick. And in fact, what you'll also find out is when you put it on the refrigerator, that it's going to be really thick. So we're going to add a little bit of water in here, but you can see it's already beginning to get smooth. I'm going to do a little taste and check out our flavoring in here as well. Let's get some of that juice and see if we need to add a little bit more seasoning. We're going to add some parsley to this. Beans are getting soft, but not quite there. That's gonna be good. Maybe a little bit more pepper. It's got such a, it even has almost a sweet taste to it, even though you haven't put any sugar or anything to it. I'm gonna put that, get some of our parsley. There we go. And we're just gonna let this continue to cook. Oh man, look at that, that's a thing of beauty. Now when it's done, it's gonna be really creamy. My mom used to always make split pea soup for us as a kid, and she would slice up hot dogs and put in it. And in my thermos bottle that I would take to school, I'd have split pea soup for lunch, and it was always good. Always good. Are you ready for our check-in? It is now 2 o'clock. So this has been on for about 3 hours. We soaked the beans, of course, and we've got this going. And look at that. I'm going to let it cook a little bit more, but you can see how it's beginning to get that creamy green color because the peas, remember when we opened it up before, are basically getting soft. And that's where you get the green creaminess from. And you look at those colors. You see the orange from the carrots and the translucent onions and the celery in there and the bits of ham. This is a great, great soup. And in fact, I was just looking up the benefits of split pea soup. And this is high in fiber, high in proteins, and is good as far as your cholesterol. They say that actually eating split pea soup will make you full longer. It has a lot of fiber in it, which is great to help you, of course, you know, take care of business. You know, Franks and beans, or no, I'm sorry, beans are good for your heart. The more you eat, well, there's that. But it's basically almost like a superfood soup. So definitely try split pea soup. We're gonna let this cook some more, and then we'll do a taste test.